our source. It radiates nourishment for us. So when we're breathing in, we're breathing out that energy. We're siphoning it up like roots. We're bringing it up from down there, and we're bringing it into our body through our base, a much maligned part in many discourses on the base chakra. We bring that nourishment in, it comes into us, crosses into our body, and it rises, it reaches every part, it clears out. It's like a liquid energy coming up, all the way up, filling all the parts. And it's our diaphragm that moves it. And then the wave changes direction, and we notice that change, that point of stillness. We're surfing that wave. Breath is up here, the wave is up there. And we breathe out. We're breathing that light, that energy through our body, starting to wash all of those parts. It reaches between the cells, between the folds of the brain, the eyes, the throat, washing away the cobwebs, clearing away these little grains of crystallized emotions, tears. You know, there's crystals in your tears. And when you have emotions that have caused you pain, that crystallization sits in your body, physically sits in your body. So the breath can start to clear that out. Your cells move against each other without that sand in between them, so they become smooth, they can start to heal. So you're clearing all of those things out, you're letting them drain into the ground. This is on the out breath. And the in breath, again, you're bringing up fresh energy all the way up, and you're washing it down. Clearing, cleaning as it goes. And so the key aspect is to connect what is often talked about as the Kundalini energy, which they say sits in the base. And we're nourishing that energy, so we're giving that energy a renewable resource. So, and we're giving it gently. If that energy that starts to rise, because it actually sits in our sacrum, which is why it's called sacrum, that's our battery pack. We can feed the battery pack with that energy, and that starts to then elevate and switch on our spine. Ding, 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 like vertebra, disc. The disc is a fluid, a sac, a membrane full of fluid, and that fluid actually is that energy. So just visualize that. Give it a light. That energy that comes up is kind of vicious. It's like a plasma energy. It's liquid, but thick, jelly-like. It comes up, has a color, and it rises. It fills your sacrum, and then it fills that first disc, the sac, and it fills. It starts to be stretched. It becomes more pliable, and then you have your vertebra, and the next spinal disc is filled up, solid, nice, like a shock absorber, and your vertebra, and the disc, and the vertebra, and the disc. So your spine switches on light by light, all the way up to the top, until it reaches into your brain, into your skull, and there you have the brain, the folds of the brain, holding gently this pineal gland. And the light reaches to the pineal gland. And it's like a moment of connection. So the source from above and the source from below become connected through this energy. And it's an exchange. And actually the exchange goes outward in every way. The mistake I make is I have always too many metaphors and I have too many pictures, but they all arise. I'm hoping some of these pictures make sense to you. But this is how we use the breath, because the breath is our energy, the breath is our source, and the breath is the vehicle of the divine, and it's the vehicle of bringing light and bringing healing into the inside of our inner universe. Because as we heal the inner universe, this is our personal feelings, our personal fears, our pains, the scars, the shame that we hold, as we start to heal that, we become and appear different to the outside, and then the outside adjusts and reacts to us in a different way. So we affect the outside. It all arises from within. So that's why it's actually really important for the breath to be grounded, so it has an ongoing source of energy. And the effect of grounding your breath, really, and I have not just noticed it in myself, but I see it in almost everyone who comes and starts to do the practice regularly. You know, even just the breathing, I think. I haven't just done the breathing, but even just the breathing regularly, every day, or 5 days a week, you do start to feel grounded. You start to feel strong. You start to feel supported. Backache goes. We often have, many of us these days, in fact, almost everyone I see come here, they have a lower back problem. We all feel unsupported. We feel overwhelmed, and life is complicated, stressful. And that's because through our culture we cut off at the base. Many spiritual discourse goes on about the negativity of operating from the base. And I don't know what they intend to mean, but if you do not operate and if you do not bring alive your base connection, you are unsupported, ungrounded, and you're just floppy. You are still disconnected from the material aspect of that simple process of going from pure consciousness to materialized reality, which is what consciousness wishes to achieve. So the breath is a key aspect. And then we use breath to bring mindfulness to our movement and mindfulness. So when we're doing yoga postures, we make sure that we do this dance of the posture, of moving from one to the other. We allow ourselves to feel grace in that movement. And we do it, it's a dance, it really is a dance. The breath leads and the body follows. And allow the body to follow. Allow yourself to feel just falling into line with the breath. So how do you follow the movement to the breath? It means that the breath starts, so the out breath starts, and then I start the movement. So I don't start the movement and then do the out breath. So I breathe out, I do a movement. The breath finishes. I am still. I notice the change of direction. The breath comes in, and then I move in. Breath finished. I am still. I notice the stillness of the breath, and out breath comes in. So the breath starts, and then the body follows the movement. So this is now the breath leading the movement. The mindfulness comes in by, we're now following the breath. So we have a visual of what the breath is doing on our inside. There are a lot of visualizations, guided meditations, because movement is meditation in that way. But particularly we use the breath, we focus it, it's a light, we focus it to the areas that are tight. So as we're breathing in, because we're breathing in, even if we're holding a place, so we're holding a posture, we're now breathing in, breath comes in. And because we're holding it, I'm now starting to feel my breath, because my belly is expanding, my chest expanding. I can feel space being created, my waist expands. I can feel a little stretching along the spine where the ribs are moving away, the ribs are moving apart a bit, I'm creating space. And then I notice where I'm holding on and I'm not allowing the space to be created. So I just take note, I continue to breathe in. And on the out breath, I'm breathing that out, I'm focusing the light, traveling along the spine, along my inner core, to the place which is holding on, and I relax that muscle, letting go. In, breath comes, This glorious energy rising, and then the out breath. And then you can stay in one position for 10 breaths and just explore every edge, everywhere you hold on the out breath. You relax. And this is what's called dancing the edge. So we focus, with every movement, we focus on identifying that edge, that place where we're holding on, where we can't go further without becoming uncomfortable. And this is where we work with our own body only. There's no point looking at someone else who can bring their nose to their bum. Their edge is elsewhere. We have to work on our edge, not on their edge. So it's all about our body, where our edges are. And my edge today may be here. Tomorrow it may be there. It changes all the time. Even in the same session, the edges move. And you're just following the edge. And when you're working with the edge in this way, you don't injure yourself. And also in that edge, there's a space between the lower and the upper edge where you find that release. And that is like a massage when the masseur releases a tension, a knot. And it's that delicious feeling of just that stretch, just that release, and it just feels good. And you can find that through the breath and through working with the edge. So you're giving yourself an internal massage. And this is what you're looking for when we're working with the edge, Just if you're just stretching in the morning, you're waking up, you're doing this stretch, and it's, oh God, this feels so good. That's the feeling that you can find when you work with the edge in your body like that. That delicious kind of, either because when we're stretching, we're putting energy into the muscles, we're tensing them, and then we're letting go. It kind of is that delicious feeling of the contrast between tension and letting go, bringing energy and bringing healing. And when we work like that, our mind becomes so still. It becomes, not always, it's alright, but it becomes focused on what we're doing. And when our mind has a job, it's like a dog. The mind needs a job. When it hasn't got a job, it just starts to fret. And we just start, when we do this embodied practice, we learn to tell the difference between a fretting mind or fretting ego and a mind that's calm but having thoughts. And it's all right, we don't have to engage with every single thought that comes, but we can